Embu, you. Thank you. So I was saying number 2, if you're not familiar with Embu, or you're not fluent in Swahili or English, you feel free to use any language, or you can mix them if you want, because right now what we need most is to hear and understand you more than the language you use, I believe. So we want everybody to relax, and remember, this is a fireside, virtual fireside, as Victor called it. So we are just putting our hands together, and from now on, we're gonna be having series of similar meetings going forward. All right. Okay, so Vicky, can I give it back to you? Or you want me to continue?
Yes, I think you can continue. I'm still helping a couple of people. Okay,
good. Let me say, yes. Let me quickly get ourselves started. Let me say we had an introduction to this meeting, a brief meeting on Thursday with Mheshimiwa. And we were able to come up, he was able to tell us some of the things he's planning for our constituency. And they are very, very nice points. And so as we prepare the questions and suggestions, I was thinking probably, should I go ahead and mention the topics? Or should I let Muhesh introduce the topics? Or did we say I'm forgetting?
Well, we can also give a chance for everyone to introduce themselves. Okay. And then maybe from there, Muhesh can introduce himself and the topics, and then we can continue.
Okay, quickly, just say your name, where you're coming from, come from in Embu, and where you live here in the United States. Briefly, so that we don't take too long on this.
Could you just read the names from the top of the list?
Okay. Let me start with Mheshimiwa will be the last one. Let me start. James, you're the first on my list. James Bestlink, tell us quickly where you come from, where you are, and 30 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sam Kariuki. Yeah, my name is James Iredi. Ni Kenya. And a company by name Bestlink Developers. Wetu musini nyumite Kithungurire, but my grandparent from Buvori. And wacha niseme tumesoma na Mheshimiwa na pia Victor Kariuki. So thank you very much.
Cliff. Thank you.
And Cliff, yeah.
For those who might just join after you talked. Yeah, you are the next.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Cliff Gatereri, Kenya, Embu, Ndagaya. I'm currently in North Carolina, Raleigh. Me and Victor, and Muhesh went to the same school, and James.
Good.
That's all.
Very good.
Karibu.
Very good.
Someone by the name Waniki?
Oh, I was so close.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa, welcome. My name is James Mwaniki, and I was born in Kithunguthia, Kavangua. Ngorerete usharwa na sharirwe Embu town tene muno. Na rukora ne North Carolina, Durham.
Okay.
And a nice meeting you, Mheshimiwa. I've not met you before. I've not seen your face before, but I've seen you being very active with the entire range of Mheshimiwas. I think you have started well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. SPK.
Thank you very much. My name is SPK Maringa from ENA, Embu. Here I live in Boston, Massachusetts. And if I'm not very wrong, I think Mheshimiwa went to school with my younger bro. So, karibu sana.
Asante sana. What's the name of your brother?
Andrew
Maringa.
Yeah.
So, Mheshimiwa, probably you know him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know him too.
Oh, good. Who is next here? The names are jumping up and down. So if I don't call your name at the end, please just remind me. Anthony Gary.
You're on mute.
Okay, can we go to someone who is on mute? Who is next? Kate's iPhone. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
Habari zenu.
Mzuri.
Mimi naitwa Munyi. I come from Kieni. Kwa Kadese kana Kegonge. You know Kegonge High. We are the neighbors. I went to school in Kevote. I don't know if we have any Kevote alumni. Like I said earlier, my mom comes from a place called Kianyangi, Kanakavotere. So this constituency is very dear to me. Even though in Kieni. But Mheshimiwa,
thank you.
You are not just going to tear the people here. You are going to look up into things in regard to Embu County.
Good.
Now, so then, we want the best for Embu. So, karibu sana. I live in Springfield, Virginia. Karibu to Amokoko. Yeah, Mr. Karaoke, we are good neighbors. Yeah.
Good. Asante.
Good to see all of you.
Karibu. Is it Anthony Gary? Somebody's phone is making noise in the background.
It's his turn.
Okay, let him speak. Yeah. Anthony.
Hey, my name.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Monokone na dhina ya sound akiniramu iwega.
Okay.
But karibu sana Mheshimiwa Mukunji. I remember talking to you the day before yesterday. Nini akura nyumete Kirigi so Kigali Manyatta. My place is in North Carolina, but currently now I'm in Nebraska. Nwangoje karibu sana.
Thank you.
Bye.
Karibu. Thank you so much. Let's see who's the next one. Deborah.
Hello, my names are Deborah Wendia Kivuti. I'm originally from Ena in Embu, and I'm really excited to be a part of this call. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Teresa Mugeni.
Good evening. Karibu sana, Honorable Gitonga. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I am from, my parents, I grew up in Thika, but my parents are originally from Ena, not too far from Kangevia. And that's my father, and my mother is from Ronyenje. Welcome.
Asante sana. Come for Kamwana. Now I remember it's Kamwana. Is Kamwana?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamwana. Born in Raleigh, North Carolina, but my parents are from Embu. My dad is from Jokere. My mom is from Gadaway, and I'm currently in Houston, Texas. So welcome.
Thank you so much, and nice to meet you. Next one we have is Mandris Eunice. Karibu sana. Karibu. I know you just joined us. Maybe she's ama tungojea ingie. Naona kama ni kama anaingia. Matt Mugeni.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me. Sorry for my camera. I'm kind of in the car right now, so can't see my face right now. But my name is Matthew McGinney. I'm 23. I'm an engineering student. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. You just heard from my fantastic mother, Teresa Mugeni. I'm glad to be here. I grew up with many of you guys, so I'm just excited to move forward.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did we hear from Millie yet? You know, the names are jumping a little bit, so. Millie. Okay. Trevor.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Trevor Njeru. From North Carolina, or from Embu, raised in North Carolina. I'm currently in Georgia. Thank you so much for inviting me to this call.
You're very welcome. Rachel Rwamba. Yeah, Eunice Madris, be ready, you're next. Rachel Rwamba, are you able to unmute? Speak. I know some of you are at work, so if we understand when you're not able to speak. Rachel. Okay. Eunice Mandris, are you able to speak?
Yes.
Yes, say hi to us, please, and a brief introduction.
Hello, everyone. Eunice Madres Joka, born and raised in Embu, and I live in Boston.
Asante sana, asante sana. George Joe, Captain, say something.
My name's George Mnaniskia, George Joe. Kwetu ni Ndagaya, Ndagaya, and live in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Good.
Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Asante sana. So we have Betty. Betty, could you unmute and say something, introduce yourself to the group?
Hi, my name is Betty Mwenje. I live in Alexandria, Virginia, and I'm from Kenjokoma, Embu. Yeah, thank you. I'm driving, sorry.
Okay, we understand. Thank you. Alice, I think Alice has just joined us, right? Seen before. Alice, please say hi to us and tell us where you are in the States and where you come from back home. Okay. Alice. Okay. Is there anyone else who has not spoken and is able to speak? I know you are not able to speak, all of you, but I think most of us have seen something.
That's coming from Rachel.
Rachel, please mute your phone. Anybody else who has not spoken, or we just now get started? Okay. May I introduce myself again? I think I introduced myself before we started recording for records purposes. My name is Sam Kariuki Mwenje. I'm also from Kianjokoma. Of course, Betty is my sister. That's why we share the last name. I also live in Virginia, and I'm glad to have you here. And now we are getting ready to start the meeting. And can I briefly introduce the topic, or should I just give Mheshimiwa? Can we just allow you to say hi to us, because we are really itching to hear you speak? And
Thank you.
Yes. Karibu.
I think it's best if I also introduce myself.
Good, yeah, very fine.
Before we go to topics.
Yes, that's in order.
And I want to say first sorry because I have been a little bit late.
No problem.
I was from a meeting, then on the way I don't have network, so I have to get to the room for me to get network.
Good.
But first, it's good to see everybody and hear from everybody. This is a very unique meeting, and except for James, everybody else is in the US. James said he's in Kenya. So I think myself, I'm in Las Vegas, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm still mastering the names of this place. I've been here now for a week. We had come with the Committee of the National Assembly of Housing for a conventional meeting, and then some other meetings. We were here with the minister, myself and my colleague called Manduku, and a team from National Constructions Authority that deals with housing. Simply because we are tasked to check on various models in terms of affordable housing that all of you know very well that we are trying to implement in our country. But for those who have not seen me or heard me, my name is John Gitonga Mukunji, and I'm the Member of Parliament of Manyatta constituency. Just maybe 7 months old in this position. But your colleagues in Kenya really did a very good job to elect me. They gave me 90% of the votes that were casted in the election last year.
Congratulations.
So they gave me a full mandate, if we may say that. They gave me a full mandate.
Yeah.
Without with no room for any doubts.
Absolutely.
And but just a little bit of my background, as Victor has mentioned there. I am one of those people who are schooled in Manyatta all the way to high school, from Rogomo Primary School in a place called Rogomo. That's in Kathangarire area of the location, but also in between Kathangarire and Buvori. So I'm right there in the middle. That is where I've schooled my primary school. Then from there I went to Govie Boys, and that's where I met my good friend Victor. I want to say thank you to him for this meeting. If it was not for him, I don't think I could have had this meeting with you guys. And then from there, we went to the University of Nairobi. We were actually doing the same course with him. But then after high school, myself, I remained in Kenya and came to the United States of America. So, but on the way, I decided to join politics. I have not been a politician before, but I thought it is the right time to do some changes for our country. And if you want to do something for your country, you have to start from where you are from. So I tried in 2017 for election. I did a very nice introduction to the people in Manyatta constituency. And then in 2022, it went through very well. I want to say I'm very excited to engage you guys, because I feel it is a very important thing that wherever we go and wherever the fate gets us, it's always good to remember where we come from.
Yes.
And mwacha mila ni mtumwa. Maybe for those people who don't know Swahili, when you leave your roots, you are basically a slave. And I feel my leadership must engage everybody that is from our place, so that we can be able to, wherever you guys are visiting, you are proud of the place you come from. And I think while you guys, everybody gets himself in different places, it is obviously you bring back. You don't take away, but you bring back. So this is a very, very important conversation we are starting. And I will agree with Sam that it is not a conversation that we are going to have and then we just part ways and continue with our lives, but we need to keep ourselves on toes, and we ensure that we follow up. We ensure that we continue communicating. Policies come from such meetings. Policies development can come from these meetings.
Yes.
Even development agendas of our place, you know. So it's something that I'm looking at in a big way. In the National Assembly, I'm also the organizing secretary of Kenya Young Parliamentarians. It's a big position. It's not a small position, because in the National Assembly, 72 members of parliament are young members of parliament. So leading that pack is also something big. It's not something small. And I feel everybody has a part to play for the change we want in our country. And we cannot close our eyes at all on things going on or what we want to achieve in our country. We cannot close our eyes. Wherever we are, whether you like politics, you hate politics, I think nobody doesn't have a relative in Kenya and in Embu County. So it is always important to have this engagement. I want to promise that this is a meeting I'm taking very serious. And it's a meeting that is going to have maybe some conclusions that we can work on, so that we can be able to do something that we can say we spoke, we said something. And maybe I'll also, in the course of the meeting, be updating you on what we are doing in various areas of interest for you guys. And most of you always look of ways to have some roots in our country, and it's important to know what the government is thinking. And I have said it before, I feel sometimes government fail you guys. I feel sometimes like the government doesn't really give you the attention that you deserve. Simply because I've seen many people even lose money when they want to bring back some investment to their country. So right now, I cannot speak like a person who is not somewhere in this government. I'm speaking as somebody who can have these things looked at and have some things implemented in a way that we can make you guys be safer when you're engaging our folks in Kenya. I don't want to really preempt everything. I want to be guided by Vicky and Sam.
Yes, thank you, Honorable.
So yes, so I relinquish the floor.
Okay, I think to reiterate thank you so much for sharing your background a bit for some of us who are new to you. I want to reiterate that this is a dialogue. So please, everyone, will ask Honorable a question or two, and then he'll respond, but then we'll open the floor for any other follow-up questions as you like. So please feel free and feel comfortable to share. And again, as he said, you know, this is just the start of the conversation. So maybe we can start at the beginning, where since you have school classmates here on the topic of education, and what is your plan and your vision for education in the Manyatta constituency? Maybe also what you think is critical to start with first.
Oh, thank you. Education, and I think when you mention education, you are talking of the core business of a member of parliament, simply because even what we do with CDF and things around what we do around education. And I know I've heard many people there say, I schooled in this place, I schooled in that place. Basically, education has gone down in our constituency and our county as a whole, I'll say that. There is a fall if you consider when we were in school, coming all the way. And in 2002, Kibaki came and introduced a very brilliant thing in education. He introduced free primary education. And free primary education was basically the game changer of what we call education in our country, because it allowed many people to access education. It also allowed our rural folks to even get day secondary schools, that today we have the highest population of our constituency in day secondary schools. So it is something that Kibaki introduced, but the coming governments from Kibaki have failed to really look at how to improve the idea of free primary education. They have totally failed, and I will not be shy to say that, because since when Kibaki brought in the agenda, even the capitation of the money being given to our schools has not been reviewed to go in tandem with the inflation rate of our country. So we are finding ourselves in very tricky positions where schools require money, but they cannot get this money from government because the government is giving them the same amount of money that they were giving in 2002. Myself, in the constituency, I have sworn to actually come up with my own homegrown agendas to ensure I improve the status of education in Manyatta constituency, and maybe also share with my fellow Embu leaders. I don't want to be selfish, and ensure we improve the status of Embu County education. And one of the things that I know would be interest to you guys is most of you have mentioned places where you come from. I've had Kangethia, I've had Kianjokoma, I have had Kavutiri. Those places, I know if you're from Ena, there is a Ena primary school. If you're from Kangethia, there is a Kangethia primary school somewhere. If you're in Kavutiri, there is a Kavutiri primary school. So basically, we have a baseline of our villages and our primary education level starting there. And one of the things I want to tap on is the issue of alumni. Everybody started somewhere. Myself, I started in Rogomo Primary School. And I'll tell you that if that school is not doing okay, I am not supposed to be proud of it. I'm not supposed to be proud and say I am rolling high, I'm even getting to Las Vegas and all over these places. Whereas my primary school in my village is actually maybe not even having good toilets for our kids. So I have decided and I've started a program where I want to tap on the alumni of our schools as godfathers for development, and also just checking and having an eye on the development of those schools. And already I have had previous meetings with some people in the professional world. Maybe if you look at my Facebook page and everything, you'll see the meetings we have had with our alumni. I want to ensure that at least, because there is no school that has not produced at least 5, let's not even go to 10. There's no school, even if it is the worst, that has not produced at least 5 people who have become successful the whole of the school life. And we are tapping to that so that at least somebody can be told, check on that school, advise us on how we can improve the education. And if we come up together, maybe we can even do development projects for those schools. And I'm calling upon you as my good friends and friends of Manyatta constituency and Embu County as a whole to even come be part of this program. And I think, Vicky, I told you if I'm able to get the numbers and the names so that we can link you to a village, and maybe you don't even have to be to be on the ground, but you need to know how is your school doing on the village. That can really help. And I will come in myself because I have government money. You know, we decide to do this project. I put in money myself, and we are together and try to improve the education of our constituency. On the same, also, I've realized that we have lacked the competitive nature of our education, and I know everybody will agree that we are in a competitive world. When the education stopped being competitive is when some things started going wrong. And I think we shared with the moderators that I remember when we were in Govio Boys with my friend Victor there and James, we used to look at our results in the newspapers because we were pushing to the limit to be on the to do the best. And true to our words, yes, we were in the papers. But these days, even a school like Govio Boys, it is not even defeating Govio Girls, which we used to defeat all the time. So there is that lagging back because of lack of competition. And on that, I'm actually introducing a prize giving day for my constituency, Manyatta constituency, for our schools. And I'm doing it all round, including what we call the day secondary schools. I want to bring them all together, and we do a prize giving day where we can even look at the brilliant kids, and we can even motivate our teachers and make sure that at least that competition comes back. I know that will come a long way to ensure that our kids feel motivated. I'm coupling that with something called Career Day, whereby I'll bring people, including yourselves, if you guys are able to get to Kenya, we come together and tell these young people, the future generation of our constituency, tell them that, yes, you can get somewhere. If myself, I can become a member of parliament at 35 years. You can make it even with 30 years. So we want to ensure we put up some spirit of, yes, we can in our education system. And if we do that, I know the trajectory of education is going to go better. Now, the third thing that I'm working on, actually, the education day, I mean, the prize giving day is actually in July. We have already set the date. We are mobilizing and ensuring that we are continuing to plan so that we are able to come in. So it's in July, maybe a date that I can confirm to you guys as we move on with this conversation. The other thing is I've realized our parents have a very big burden. And the burden is so big that we have a lot of dropouts in school, and our kids and our relatives in Embu are going to plant miraa and get some few coins, whereas they're supposed to be in school. And on that, I have sat down with the principals and agreed with them that we need to standardize the school fees. Actually, I'm looking in the next year, my constituency, nobody will be paying more than 2,000 Kenya shillings for a day secondary school. That is how serious I am on this. I want to ensure that we don't pay more than 2,000 per term for a parent who is taking a kid to day school. But that requires also partnership and maybe some connections here and there, so that, because the biggest burden for parents is food, the biggest burden is food. I am working to introduce a feeding program. And this feeding program is a program that is multifaceted. Number one, when I did a small survey to know what land we have in our schools, I found the average acreage of land for our schools is around 6 acres. And when I did my maths, I realized that we have more than 200 acres of land around our schools in Manyatta constituency. So one of the things that I'm putting in right now is we are starting a farming program in all schools, a farming program. And we are targeting to have grains, maize and beans being our things that we want to produce. And this one is going to be done together with the head teachers, together with the students that are in those schools, so that we produce. And when you do your maths, anybody there who has done agriculture will find that we are going to produce more than 5,000 bags of maize and beans in those school land alone. Nobody's land, but school land. Now that is part of the feeding program. That comes into the feeding program, and then I introduce other stakeholders and myself as the CDF. I come in and remove the big burden of food from our parents. And if we do that, I know now a parent, you tell a parent to give only 2,000 per term, I don't think anybody will be having problems with education in our place. And I'm doing that and coupling it with ensuring that we are getting quality education. So I think you guys, those are things that I'm planning on education. And where you guys, you think you can advise me to fine tune or to ensure that we get a better way of doing things, I appreciate. Among that is also digitization of all our day secondary schools. I think I have a very big program of ensuring that we have at least 20 computers in all schools in Manyatta constituency, so that we don't have a case where a student is leaving from 4 and has no idea what is a mouse. Just like myself, when I was schooling, I didn't know what is a mouse until I went to Nairobi. So we need to change that. And those are things that we can partner with you guys and be able to do a lot. I think I'll stop there on education because I don't want to be the monopoly of everything in this meeting. Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you. And the floor is open. My dad used to say, it's hard to think when you're hungry. So I'm a big fan of the food feeding program. Floor
great.
is open. So if anyone would like to ask a question on this topic, you're welcome. A comment, a concern, and we'll just wait a second, and then if not, we can move on a little bit.
Vicky, I have a question.
Amazing.
I have a question for Mheshimiwa. Hi, my name is Betty Mwenje from Kianjokoma. So I hear the plans are really, really nice, but I was wondering, have you considered of how you're going to partnership with parents so that you can encourage them to take the kids to school? Because sometimes some of them may not know the importance of it, because when you see kids, sometimes you have no money, you have nothing to eat, and there's little. Probably they think when you miss one day, you miss 2 days, it's not a big deal. And I have come to realize the reason why most of us, a lot of people make it, not because they had a whole lot of, they are too smart. It's just because their parents really were there for them. And if you don't educate or really encourage the parents to be part of the kids' education, the kids won't do it. And even they will do much better when they know that their parents are part of their journey. So I'm wondering, what are you doing to involve the parents in this progress of education?
Should I answer that or I wait for others?
Yes. Oh yeah. I don't know. I was just asking you.
Yeah, I think you can answer.
So I answer that. Thank you very much, Betty. And I know there is a challenge when it comes to parent engagement. One thing I've realized that even the parent of today is actually a reluctant parent. Unlike when we used to be in school. I remember one day I thought I had passed on a composition test, but then my mom was like, "How do you get a B plus? You should get an A." And I was very furious that he can't see how good I have done. But at the end of the day, I realized I even performed better the next exam because of that. But these days, parents are becoming reluctant, and the reason is, number one, the economic status of our country right now, and number two also is the social challenge, where we have these kids being engaged in farm and doing all those manner of things that require that are giving money to maybe parent, and so the parent is also compromised. But what I have done actually, last week we had a very serious meeting with parents when I was giving the bursaries and the launch of this program I've actually just explained to you guys, that I'm calling Masomo Bila Stress. And I've called it that so that it can be able to be relatable to people, because while we are easing the burden for parents, we are also looking at the quality of education. I believe if we are putting money, even government money, to schools, and there is no good grades and there's no good performance, we are wasting government money. So we agreed with parents that they will play their part. But of course, that is easier said than done. So I am up to the task to ensure that we continue engaging them. And I will tell you, we are very committed parents in Manyatta constituency, because even a day like that one, a day of just the normal issuance of bursary, we had close to 7,000 parents coming together. And we speak about education from 9 all the way to 2 p.m. So I can tell you, parents are committed. They just want to be a little bit more engaged. And I spoke to the principals and head teachers of our schools. There is a school called Eveche Primary School. I don't know anybody knows about it. Eveche Primary School is a school that is a public day primary school, but it performs even better than academies. Their secret is one: they engage parents the way they engage kids. So if you are telling kids to wake up at 6 in school, when we have a parent meeting, the parents are also told to come at 6. And if you don't come, your kid is chased away, unless you have an excuse. I mean, you have an apology. So these are things that we are trying to share and continue, because these are a very diverse issue, whereby the principal of a school is actually a very is on the vocal point of the engagement of parents. So we need to tell the principals on this direction, and that's what we have done, and then continue monitoring to ensure that we have the parent also getting discipline, because indiscipline is a big issue even to our parents, where they don't care whether the kid is in school or not. So it's an issue that we are working on, and I know now that I'm the person who is holding the steering of this, I'll continue to ensure we get somewhere. We will not get somewhere just like that within a minute, but it's something that we are going to build upon. And I think I've answered your question.
Yes, you have answered, but I can only follow up with one. I'm not going to stay so long. I just wanted to mention that when you say parent engagement, they're encouraged to be engaged. I think I would also suggest you can just like spell out what is engagement, because I am a parent myself, and when I didn't go to school here in, I came to university here, to college here, not the lower school. So when they tell you to do something, I didn't know what they are talking about, because I didn't go to school here and they do things differently. So I really benefited from them telling me, spelling it out literally. Okay, this is how we need it done. Like, okay, you follow up with the child. So when you tell the kids to be, the parents to be involved, means a lot of things. So some of them actually, Mheshimiwa, but they may not know what engagement, because maybe they haven't gone to school themselves, and they are willing to be directed. And if they see what can happen to their children when they're educated, and what happens when they follow up with the children, they'll do it. However, if you don't show them what to do, they may feel like don't want to ask. That's all I have to say. But thank you very much. The question was well answered. Thank you.
Yeah. So the parent engagement is something that is an everyday thing. You should know your kid is at school. When he leaves school, you should know your kid whether he is at home or not. You should check the grade. You should ensure that you check whether they are doing homework and everything. Such engagement is the one that parents have to go through. It's simple. A kid in school is with the teacher, but when he leaves school, is with the parent. So it should be a continuous thing. You hand over the kid to the teachers, then you take over the kid when he leaves school in the evening. And that engagement is the one that we have to cultivate slowly to our parents. And they will balance it with the normal problems they have in their houses of money and everything.
Thank you, Honorable. For the sake of time, I think I'll allow Mr. SBK and I think a couple of other people with their hands up to ask their questions. Then maybe you can address them briefly. And I think if we can keep. Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Vicky. And Mheshimiwa, thank you very much. We have had indeed your very lofty plans for the education especially, and I don't doubt your niche that you will be able to accomplish quite much of this. But then my question, which rather is like just wanting to know, I would want to imagine that because we are here from different constituencies, and that is your plan for Manyatta constituency. Truly, education has gone down across the board in all constituencies in the county. And I would want to imagine that you have a caucus of the Embu County leaders where you sit, engage with the governor or your peers. What are the kind of discussions do you engage in? And perhaps you could shed light to us, what is the plan, even though you're not the governor, but you will be able to know what is the county government plan for education?
Okay.
We said we can ask the questions and then we'll answer.
Yes, I think there's one more question. Is there one more question?
Yes.
Okay, Agnes, and then we go to James.
Yes. All right. Mheshimiwa, I'm actually, it's like 3 questions in one. The first one is a follow-up to what you said with regard to food. I've been seeing pictures on Facebook where the Great Rupingazi is dry. How are you going to make sure that the food that you're growing in the school is grown with all the drought we've been hearing about?
Very good.
My other question is with regard to the bursary. I am so glad to hear you had 7,000 parents, because I've been talking to people and trying to sponsor kids in my local place, and I've been told that there's the bursaries, but what it is, people try to explain to me that the parents just don't go for it. But in my opinion, it's very easy. Even here, parents, we hear about scholarships, but sometimes we don't know how to look for them. It's very easy to talk about the bursary in the coffee factory. Is it possible that you could engage the head teachers in all the schools, one, to help them, to ask them without corruption, that they can direct the parents when they come for meetings to be able to go where to go for bursaries? So that should be part of, I guess, your parent engagement, is to also engage the head teachers and teachers in the school. And then finally, maybe head teachers also need to be involved in the parent engagement, because it comes to their legacy too. We have heard of the great legacies of who was the headmaster of Kangaroo when it was top for best school in the country. So those are the three things I want to bring up.
Any other last question? I think there's one more.
There's James and Karova, and then we hear
that. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Muesh, that's a very good conversation that you brought up, and I hope that's going to materialize. And as some of the speakers that spoke earlier, that also, if it is possible, you share with some of the other leaders, so that we all benefit as the county of Embu. Mine is just to probably ask if you have considered, and one of my sisters there mentioned about it, like we know programs like the Wings to Fly or something. Those people that excel, those students that excel, what is the criteria of getting? Are you able in the leadership to be able to? Do they consult you when they are, or is that termed as a private sector? So I don't know. The other thing, just to finish up, was I know when we were growing up, there were such robust programs about extracurricular activities, and we could see Coca-Cola, come in and try to nurture talent. And now we know that some of these kids know what is happening there, that they can still succeed in the sports world. Do you have a program whereby you also, for those kids who do not excel in education, per se, to not be left behind, because there are some of them that are very much talented? I mean, I would be very proud to hear that we have a son of Manyatta playing for Arsenal. Me, I'm an Arsenal guy. Do we have such programs whereby you can tap the talents of such kids? That way they can be part of improving their future. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Let's hear from Karova, and then we give Honorable a chance to respond to your questions. One last question from Mr. Karova.
Sorry, Kebekai, sorry, Nindi na vya kuhumu kwaragia the mutant kogo this baraningi ambiria. Let's go ahead monekana nwambori ekyuria.
Or request to go skip for now?
Yeah, I'm only skip utando dikwe gusaga.
Okay. Okay, good.
But I'm happy to have joined you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much for these questions. I'll go through them very fast. Starting with Maringa question on the county government plan. Let me say that I don't hold a brief for the governor. But we consult and talk about things here and there. Now, one thing we agreed when we were elected is the fact that we are not going to go the direction of the division that we have had before with the county leadership. And I know anybody who follows the politics of Embu County has seen us together with the governor and other leaders many times. even knocking doors of our seniors in big offices for the sake of our people. But one thing I need to tell Maringa is that the county government plan on education normally is around the ECD education, the lowest grades of education. That is the kids that are below the class 1. It's called ECD. And I also understand they also have a plan of having bursary, which I have not heard much about it, but I know they are also going to give some amount to help our parents on reducing the big burden, school fees. But one thing I have told the governor is I have taken time to do a database, and I think I will couple that with the question Agnes asked of how we normally give bursaries. One thing I did myself, I didn't really look at what has been done before in terms of bursaries. I actually went directly and went around Manyatta constituency, taking data and knowing who is an orphan, who is a single parent kid, who is a person with no guardian. And all that data, now I have it. And I'm going to share that data with even the governor so that when they are giving bursaries, they can consider these kids who are really in bad situations. We need to agree that bursary is not for everybody. You know, previously, my predecessor was writing a check of 2,000 to everybody, you know, which I felt it's unfair to an orphan who does not have anybody to cry on. So if you look at what I have disbursed right now, I have given orphans in secondary schools 6,000 Kenya shillings and above, because that is almost like the whole school fees. I have looked at the single parents that are needy, the people who are really desperate and they don't even have jobs, and I've given them around 5,000. Then I've looked at the normal people who they have both parents. So unapata a parent here as a manual job. The mother goes around picking tea in Nyayo, T-zone and everything. I give them 3,500. Those are the rates I did. As per what is actually is the maximum amount of bursary. But we really need to get out of this bursary dependency, because I feel it's also a slave mentality of in some way, whereby now we are having a lot of burden because everybody knows you'll get money from bursaries. We need to make our schools work and function. And that's why I've said I'm looking at a program of ensuring that we remove the burden of food from our parents, so that when they are paying something, if it is a lot, it should be 2,000. So you will not find anybody saying, give me the bursary for 2,000. And if they are given bursary for 2,000, well and good, they will pay nothing. And maybe that should be the future of education. And remember, when we are doing all this, and even when I'm talking about the feeding program, there are challenges that are above me, issues of water, irrigation. But even that, I have my own homegrown solution. We have decided we are going to have these pans of water in those schools. We are going to collect water, harvest water, and that's why we are not starting this season. We are not going to start planting this season, because the season has already started. We don't want a case where we start something that will fail. We are first preparing the schools. We are doing pans. We put in water. They accumulate water, so that even when there is no rain, like what Agnes is saying, Rupingazi is drying because of drought, we will have water in those places. And that is my own homegrown solution. I know it is not much, but it will help somewhere. Because while we are waiting for a dam to be built in Rupingazi River, to supply us with irrigation water from government, it will take a lot of time. You don't even know when those dams will be done. We don't even have the money, as a matter of fact. So we need to start making our own solutions up at chini, so that maybe you'll find our solutions have worked. And when they work, whatever comes from government will be an added advantage. Of course, the engagement of head teachers, and I think I mentioned this before, that head teachers are the core stakeholders in the success of all this, including the engagement with parents. Because there are some head teachers who fear parents. There are some teachers who they fear being chased away by parents in school, so they really don't engage parents. But we are going to ensure we master case by case to ensure those schools work. The issue of Wing to Fly, it's a private entity, although in my constituency, Manyatta, they included me as a stakeholder. I can tell you affirmatively that from Manyatta, we have had around 30 students benefiting from various scholarships, full scholarships.
Wow.
From Wings to Fly, we have an Elimu, we have another one from Family Bank, and I brought in all these banks so that I told them, now, if you are doing business in Manyatta, you have to give me not less than 5 scholarships. And I ensured that they went to the most bright of the student and the most needy. Of course, sports is a big issue that is not put seriously in our education system. But I know there is normally the school program on sports, which I cannot interfere much with because of the school calendar. But when these students leave schools, myself, I'm running a tournament, and which I ran even before elections, Gitonga Mukunji Super Cup. And actually, it is starting immediately. I go back. We are going to have that, and the winner will be going home with 1 million Kenya shillings, the winner's team. So I want to also cultivate issue of competition, even when our youths are not in school. So all these things we are doing, but for school sports, I really can't speak much because that is very much tied on school calendar. But I feel it's something that needs to be looked at seriously, because we cannot afford to have everybody being good in books, science, and mathematics. So I feel like I've handled your questions.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes, thank you, Honorable. And I think I can really appreciate the question about, food storage and water storage. That's a great segue into the bigger issue of agriculture, and how when the weather and financial crisis hits, farmers are the ones who suffer the most. So can you briefly just give us your plan of attack when it comes to agriculture in Manyatta, and just a very high level? Then we'll take just a couple questions. I think if we can spend just 2-3 minutes, then you can expound later.
Actually, now that you've mentioned the issue of water harvesting, I'm actually just thinking of areas you guys can come in. We need those nylon papers that will cover those pans so that water is not absorbed by the ground, and also it's covered. So such areas maybe are areas of collaboration that we can have with you guys. Now, on the issue of agriculture, and today I spend my better part of morning moving around farmers markets in Las Vegas. I have walked too much. I have gone around Sprout Farmers Market. I have gone to Target. I have gone to many places, just looking at what are the pricing of these things that we farm in our places. And I will shock you, one of the things that has shocked me is macadamia. A pound of macadamia is $15.99. Anybody with a calculator can really do the maths and find that basically it means 1 kg of macadamia is at 4,500 Kenya shilling. That is already the processed one. Not is actually just crushing them and packaging them. That is the price in the farmers market here, 4,599. If you go back home right now, a kg of macadamia is going at 20 shillings. Can you believe it? 20 shillings. So we need to do something, and already I'm on it. Number one, anybody who follows me right now, right now I'm in America. My team back home is moving around registering farmers. And I have targeted 3 crops. I've targeted macadamia, I've targeted bananas, and I've targeted macadamia, bananas, avocados. Yes, I've targeted those 3 products. I will do others, but I don't want to start something that I have not looked at until then. I will do coffee and tea, but I don't want to really do it right now when I don't have a solid plan on what I want to achieve with those. But why I'm doing this, and I will want to confirm to this team that already I have registered close to 5,000 farmers for this 1 week. I'll tell you, 5,000 farmers. It tells you that what we need is to empower our farmers. Number one, I will do a growers association for them. I will do a big growers association for Manyatta constituency. And this growers association will help on even you guys and your connections around, and maybe when you get time and move around and you need bananas in America. You know, you can be able to tell us we need 20 tons every month, and we can be able to prepare and get you. If currently right now, I know by next week, because one of the meeting I'm doing when I get back is a farmers meeting of those who have registered. So I will know that Manyatta constituency is producing 20,000 metric ton or 50,000 metric ton of macadamia by next week. So that will help me be able to even liaise with you guys for market. When you're looking for market of quantities, you know, you can easily get the market. And one of the things I was talking to the bosses I met in those farmers market. They were telling me that there is something called traceability, whereby if you want to supply target with let's say beans, they need to know which farmer produced it, when were they packed. They need that traceability all the way to the farmer, and what kind of farming they're doing, maybe organic and everything. So with the registration of the farmers growers association, I will be able to control that and be able to know what are they producing and where we can get the market and what quantities. From there, we need to think about even getting better prices for our farmers. Actually, I will just quote macadamia right now because it's the one that is on season. Right now, I've told you the price the farmers are getting on the ground is 20 shillings. And it is 20 shillings when somebody who is doing the processing is selling it at the farmer's market at 4,500. And then in between himself and the farmer, there is somebody who calls himself a broker. And this broker is the one who financiers the farmer to the ground, and he makes sure that the farmer cannot breathe, but then he makes a profit that is doubled by the person who sells the macadamia. So with the Growers Association, I automatically remove the broker in the middle. Because when I know the quantity, as a member of parliament, I will hold brief for the farmer, so that I tell them this is the market we are getting and this is the price. And we are looking at that, and we are going to build up on it, that in future, we can even have a processor of our own for Manyatta constituency. And I'm very serious on this, because I don't believe we can continue having farmers crying every day when we can solve these things. And that is on macadamia. Avocados, right now, I've also checked avocado prices. 3 avocados at $5. So if you do the maths, maybe you look at it, it's around maybe 150 shillings per avocado. You go to Embu, a whole bag, what do we call these bags? Ghana bags, gunia, will go for, I don't know, 1,000.
Wow.
So this is where we are coming in, and maybe we have to be passionate about. I know this is actually maybe outside the comfort zone of everybody, except maybe me, because I have the mandate, but I will call upon you guys to try to help me here and there, so that we can get those good markets. I don't have a problem with getting the certification required, because I'm in government, so I will be able to push my way through and get those certificates. But our farmers will be happy, and when the farmers are happy, you will not be disturbed so much to send something home. You will not be told, send us 1,000 money for this and that. We will be able to handle that in the local level, and it will be good. Now,
Thank you.
on that,
Sorry. Continue.
Can I go on?
I just wanted to mention, someone made a comment, if you've considered fair trade policies within those prices. So as you continue.
Okay, thank you. I think one of the things that also we need to look at is the issue of the law that we have in this country. You know, before we had crops that are doing well, but when the law came in, it was disturbed by unscrupulous people who wanted to do business. We had the issue of coffee and tea actually crashing, because right now, even is the time we are looking at new laws to have our coffee and tea getting back to the farmer in terms of good prices. And on the macadamia, you cannot export raw macadamia. You have to export processed macadamia. So that means now it is only the person who has the money to buy the processor that is able to control the price. How many are there in Kenya? There are around 10. So they sit down on a round table and they say, we are going to crash this price at this at this price. We are going to buy these things at this price. And when they do that, the farmer thinks there's a problem, whereas it's just them that are creating their own problem. It is everything actually that is happening, including the food prices. We have this challenge in our country, and we cannot really talk much until we change the laws. But me, I want to do my own homegrown solutions while I'm going to the national level to do the changes. So it will go hand in hand. And if we are able to do our homegrown solutions, especially the farmers, the grower circle, then we do our own value addition, we do our own packaging. By the time we get to the national level, we will be building up on something that we can be able to get somewhere. So there was you were saying something to do with fair trade policies? Yes. Well, for farmers, it is normally they are normally on the receiving end. There is no competition for farmers, because I've told you the chain of trade is too big. There are brokers in the middle, there are processors, there is a buyer on the other side, and most likely even the export problem that we normally have, whereby we have, for example, in the US, we are competing For macadamia, we are competing with Mexico. We are also competing with China and these other countries, and South Africa also. So we need to protect our farmers. How do we protect our farmers? Is by ensuring that we step in and arrange them. And here, when I talk of farmers, I'm not talking of large-scale farmers. I'm talking of the smallholder. I'm talking of the person with 3 acres of land who is doing avocado on 1 acre and doing macadamia on the other one and doing maybe maize and beans for subsidiary use on the other one. So those are the farmers that we are looking to protect.
Thank you. I think we have a couple of questions. We can open up for questions and then switch it to SPK.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vicky. And Mheshimiwa, thank you. Just following up on the plan for agriculture, especially what you have talked about. Well, of course, it's in line with value addition and aggregation of those produce.
Yes, aggregation.
One of the challenges that we are likely to face, or you are likely to face, is
we
are likely to face is we are in a place where, for instance, in your case, you are a member of the National Assembly and a lawmaker per se. And so I want to imagine, like you have mentioned, the laws that are not favorable to the farmers, whether it's coffee, macadamia, and all those other products, that sometimes, of course, because of the bureaucracy that the government has, that it takes so long to have things actualized. I don't know what can be done over there, but then also back to our domain, what are we doing to ensure that there is sufficient food production? As much as we want to do, other cash crops, I mean, you'll agree with me, people have run away from producing food products to the point where a lot of farmers right now are growing miraa. Of course, there is money in it, but is there any food over there, which really does compromise the quality of life of our people?
Can I answer that, or there is more?
One more question, and then we'll shift. Agnes?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you called on me. Gitonga, Mheshimiwa, I actually grew up selling beans. I went to Manyatta to sell beans. So agriculture is very near and dear to me. So questions for you, following up with what the previous speaker said. In terms of food security, that was going to be my question. I hear everybody talking about all these cash crops, but I don't know, tomorrow maybe wake up and go and check the price of millet or sorghum in the local grocery store. I get my sorghum from and millets from the market in Embu, from one of the guys in the market in Embu, because it's basically very expensive here. And those are superfoods. We call them superfoods here, those old grains. How can things like millet, sorghum, sweet potatoes, and cassava, those are more likely to grow in an arid area? Why aren't the leaders asking or encouraging and teaching farmers to grow crops that are meant for dry weather? Even in Manyatta, where maybe we were proud before, we don't plant cassavas, maybe now we can start planting cassavas. Secondly, and this might be not in that, it kind of touches, because you've been talking about agriculture in the economy side, but in your constituency, and I'm asking this question because it's going to be my last question, hopefully. In your constituency, you have two economy building places, tourist places. That's what I was looking for, tourists. You have Camp Ndunda, and you've got now on Facebook last year, I saw somebody talking about some caves that the Mau Mau were in, somewhere in Kirigi, but I've never seen it ever again. And I wondered, is there a way to grow the economy with tourism, we have the waterfalls and mountains. We can even amp up Karwe, that mountain that is said you can't point at, because we could do that. People go for ghost tours in this country. Why can't we do that for our people and help that, open restaurants and bring jobs into the village like Kampanduda?
Yeah. Thank you. I think I can answer those.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So as I have said, the issue of government bureaucracy is there, and one thing we normally say is, I believe as far as we have our challenges, we have to move on. That is something I have believed in, and it has taken me this far. That we can sit down and cry and say, this one will take time, but we just ensure that we push to the limit. And let me say that on the issue of food security, it's a big shame. I also am not very proud that Kenya, a tropical country, blessed with a lot of rivers and a lot of lakes and even an ocean, is not able to feed itself. It's a shame. And now that I'm in leadership, I believe I will contribute to ensuring that we have food security. And how do I do that? Number one, as I've told you on the issue of school farming, I might not be able to go to individual farming because it's not something that I can tell people you have to. But I've told you, with the registration of farmers alone, I've gotten 5,000 farmers who I'm in control of. These are farmers that I want to sell the idea of also ponds to them, having dams to them, so that as far as we're not having irrigation water, we can start doing our own home-grown solutions. So be watching out for the meeting, and I normally go live in many of my meetings so that I can reach as many people as possible. But with the registration of farmers that I've done, I'm going to build up on that and ensure that we have them in control, whereby we can even say, let's do cassava, as long as we are able to bring up the inputs required. And while I was speaking about macadamia, bananas, and avocados, I was very keenly aware that we have an issue of maize not being enough, potatoes, and Kenya is used to staple food being maize. So I was sharing an idea with the president the other day that we need to specialize this country. And I think I also shared the same with the moderators, that we cannot have everybody producing everything. We cannot have whatever is being produced in Meru is the same thing that is being produced in Uasin Gishu. That's when we mess our market up. And you find when we are harvesting our maize, the price go down and everybody start crying, So I told him to try to talk to the Council of Governors and tell these governors, it might not be immediate, but gradually we can have counties specializing on specific farming. And we can have maybe from my head, we can have Embu, Kirinyaga, and Tharaka Nithi producing the potatoes that are going to feed this nation, so that we don't have an overproduction of potatoes and the price go down. And if we do that, we will have specialization that involves also value addition. So if government is putting in money, let it put money to build up capacity for specific areas to be experts in production of something. And I know it happens even here. I know if you go to the southern side, you'll find people with tracts of land farming wheat. and they supply wheat to almost everybody else in the US. So those are things that we are looking at, and maybe because I'm in the National Assembly, I will ensure that I'm that voice of ensuring we do that. But while I'm doing that, I have to always go back to the constituency and bring in ideas that can be able to help our people. And I know Manyatta, except the area of Kedemu, which is a little bit dry, but not very dry. We go to other areas like Ruguru Ngandori, areas of Gaturi, and areas of Ngenda. Those are areas well blessed with a lot of rain and cool climate. So you rarely find sorghum growing well there, and millet. But on side of Mbere South and Mbere North, and I was happy to see my colleague Ruku maybe having a program around that. I was happy to see that because those are areas where we can have a lot of production of sorghum and wheat, which can actually be a very huge plus. And as you have said, even for export, and you have said those are high-end crops here, you know. So those are things that we can do. Well, let me open this. Well, there's somebody who has spoken about the issue of tourism. I know we might have that agenda on the line.
If we can get to it, but there's a couple.
I'll reserve it to then.
Yes, there's a couple of questions in queue. Maybe we can hear, and then we'll read the ones in the chat. I can read you. Majis, please.
So the lady who has asked on the issue of tourism, we are handling it as a sector in the question. So maybe you can just be patient a little bit.
We'll get back to it. Thank you, Honorable. Okay, Mr. Mwaniki, would you like to add your question?
Thank you, Vicky. Asante sana Mheshimiwa James Mwaniki again. Na watu kumakawanjara kidongodia. And I would like to go back to history a little bit, and I think it's important. From early 60s up to about 1985, Embu was leading in top grade in Form 4. And most of the children, most of the big people we have in the government now went to the Ruken Girls.
True.
Others went to Kangaroo. Lee was the first student in the Kivoti. They went through those schools and went on leading for many, many years. I was a member of the Board of Governors for Kenny Girls for about 15 years. I was a member of governors for Loreto Girls, which tells me very well the education system has gone very far down as far as Embu district as a whole is concerned. Now, what is the reason for this? The level of poverty in the Embu district is very, very high.
True.
And nobody pays attention to this. Embu district has gone through a lot of disadvantages. Nobody talks that is in 1906, Embu was pacified, and many of our people were killed. About 186,000 animals were driven from Embu. And look at Embu, the size it is. That was 1906. 1925, somebody wrote a book about the vanishing tribes of Embu, of Kenya, and it was Embu. And you can see today, Embu is vanishing. This is why we have got such low grades now. We did not have an opportunity to get money from the government to our district. Although mute onora yabari awawa.
Nego.
Kuda kuonda ndo maji sama kadi kwa big positions nitosi umuthi Gitonga ni arama rutetera kwa thirikari. How many of our people have worked in the government for nearly 50 years? Peanuts. So
True.
all the money that has made so many people rich never reached Embu. Yatu avya secondary wa yesa mungu atonya kirathire akavua uniform, akavua mirengeti, na uniform too were being given trousers. Na mheshimiwa unaoga ati nituraminiria andu bursaries. But the level of poverty is too high.
True.
Tukuvevia Syria, please, nendo kwina other topics that we need to handle. Please, if you don't mind.
Ne kongwada kwa tatere. Kwada wana government never to approach na mheshimiwa mwe this time on those bases that we need to be considered as a disadvantaged district, although we are so close to Nairobi. Now, mheshimiwa ndise kanu menye almost 25% ya Embu ni very underdeveloped. Ongiosa barabara ya kuma Embu Okemate Road mwena wa right Gwonde. What do we have there? People there don't know what independence is. They are the poorest.
Atuoga barabara iliko bwana Moniki.
Embu. Oka Kawanjara.
Okay.
Othi Mate Road.
Okay.
Na uonda wa right ukivia gambere.
Okay, I have gotten you.
That area is about 25% of the Embu district. What do we have there? Tevaravara, nothing. So can you please gang up as members of parliament while you overall poverty Embu in general?
Okay.
We are almost at the level of Northeastern province. Thank you.
Okay. Let's hear from Andres, and then we'll let Mheshimiwa handle the questions.
Okay.
So sorry.
I wanted to, Mheshimiwa, hi, you're doing a wonderful job and you have great plans. And I'm impressed by the food security program, the one you're planning to work with schools. But I'm also wondering, what are you doing about climate change? What are you doing? Because you've talked about water, you've talked about drought, yes, but any plans of planting trees or projects to mitigate climate change? Because that is one of the issues that is causing the drought and the erratic rains.
Climate change.
I think that can also introduce us to the topic of tourism and environment, Mheshimiwa, if you can fuse that together for the sake of time.
Thank you. I think I will also appreciate Moniki's who has taken us through memory lanes. And you know, he has also touched on issues that involve climate change, because he's talking of a very dry area. If I have understood him, he is talking of that area that is quite dry. And the person who was giving us the idea of millet and sorghum, that is the area we need to look at. And maybe the next forum, I will ensure that we engage all our 4 members of parliament so that we can talk as Embu in full. And when we touch Manyatta, we also touch Runyenjes. We also touch, I think that one is something we can do while we're moving on. But we need to say that, number one, Embu is also a place where we have a very diverse levels of richness and poverty. If you go to the upper side where we have majani chai and kahawa, people don't have many problems. But if you go down, you find now people with a lot of problems in terms of food and all these things. But I agree with Moneki that we have had a disadvantage in government. But this time, I feel like we are in the right government, in my own opinion. Because even as early as yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, before I came here, we have had one of our own being elected in the NEMA board, National Environment Management Association, one Emilio, who is also part of my team, professional team. He is leading the team on tourism in my own arrangement, local arrangement. He is leading the team that is heading tourism and climate change and environment. So we also have other people. I mean, even as early as yesterday, we got the former member of parliament being given a position. So unless we are unable to position ourselves, unless we don't want to harvest what we planted, I'm pretty sure this government is ours. And this, I'm saying that without mincing my words. And I'll give you an example. When I called the president for the Thanksgiving last year, before he went anywhere else, and he was very busy, he was able to come to Embu. He came there and promised that Madaraka Day will be hosted in Embu County, in Manyatta constituency, as a matter of fact. And that has come up with a lot of goodies. We are getting a stadium that has been an eyesore for Embu people for quite a number of years. It is being done right now. Maybe if you tell your sister or your brother to take a picture right now, there are trucks and there are cranes of construction that is going on right now in that stadium. We are also getting another stadium, Njokere Stadium. And that one will be a state-of-art stadium to the level where it can host even national events, international events. We are getting a modern Embu market in Embu County and in Manyatta constituency. A state-of-art modern market with stories, We are getting close to 20 kilometers of road because of Madaraka Day. And even today in the morning, when I woke up, I had a Zoom meeting with my engineers in Kura and Kera, who are already on the ground trying to know how that work will start. So, Moniki, to just put your fears to rest. We are in the right government. So it is us to take advantage of it. Yes. And that's why we are having this discussion today on how to take advantage of being in a place where we can make decisions and a government that can listen to even myself, a person who never thought he will ever be speaking to the president. I'm able to talk to the president and he listens to me. So it's something that we cannot take for granted.
Sure.
Now, let me say that Embu County also has been on the receiving end when it comes to opening up of its tourism attraction areas. And one thing I know is, and I've had, I didn't catch her name, but what's the name of the lady who introduced to us the tourism agenda? Maybe
Agnes.
Agnes, I think.
Agnes, is it? Agnes. So Agnes mentioned Kambudunda in Njokere Forest. And actually, before I came here, last week, I was with the Minister for Environment. And what had taken me there is the fact that Njokere Forest had not been gazetted. So I went there specifically to ask for gazettement of Njokere Forest, because Njokere Forest in Kirinyaga is gazetted, Njokere Forest. But Njokere Forest in Embu County is not gazetted.
Wow.
So we lose a lot on resources in terms of maintenance of forest cover, which is resources that come. We lose a lot on issues to do with carbon credit, which I know it's a big thing right now in the world. Mm-hmm. So we have started the process of gazettement of that forest. And maybe in the next meeting, I'll be briefing you whether it has we have finished up the process or not. But with the gazettement, it will come issues of ensuring that Jokiri Forest is taken care of and Jokiri Forest resources are harnessed for the benefit of the community. And that involves ecotourism. And Camp Duda is owned by one George, who is my good friend, together with the local CFA of the Jokiri area forest. And I hope that if we couple that together with the issue of stadium and the sport complex that we are building in Jokiri, that area, and I heard somebody say it's from Jokiri here, that area is becoming a big deal. Maybe if you have 2 acres of land there, just don't sell yet. It will be very pricey by the time we get to those things. We need to take advantage of that. And I know this docket is mostly on the county government, but I have listened to our governor, Cicely Barire, and she's very passionate about opening up of Embu in terms of tourism. We are talking the same language with her. That one I want to confirm, that we are speaking the same language when it comes to opening up of Embu. We have a national reserve, national, not museum, but game reserve. We have a national park at Moya, which has elephants and all these other big 5. But you really don't get it. You don't get it captured very well in the maps of Kenya. We are going to open up. Myself, I normally speak about my initiatives, what I'm doing. I'm starting something that I am passionate about running. Maybe Victor never left me being passionate about running. I am the silver medalist of the East African Games on 400 meters. So we are doing morning runs. And we are targeting to go to those areas so that we can be able to spice them up and show them in the media and push them as areas of interest that Embu can be well known of. And it's a fact that it is a high altitude area. You find people coming from Eldoret and coming to train in Kigali. So I am doing that, having that in mind. I want to, even on fast, our next marathon, we started last week, but one before I came, but our next marathon is on fast of April. And why we want to start that culture, and so that we can be known to be an area where we can have running and marathoners coming to train. And that comes also together with, as I have said, the sport complex that we are building in Jokiri. There is what we call Irangi Forest. Irangi Forest is actually an unfair situation for Embu County. Because what happened, Irangi Forest has a very direct route to climbing of Mount Kenya. But for some reason, which I cannot say because I was not part of government then, we have a route in Kirinyaga, we have a route in Meru, but the shortest route to Mount Kenya, which is in Irangi, has not been authorized. It's a shock. But I'll tell you already that one is past. We got into the government and started working on those. And already we have that route being gazetted. And that route, very soon you will see ecotourism. You will see the expensive camping sites that we see in Nanyuki being in Irangi Forest. Very soon. That one I can tell you for a fact. And if you have some money you want to put in Embu, those are areas you should look at. Because I know when we speak about this, you know how big is the camping. I mean, I have seen, I I went to a camp in, I don't remember the name. I went to a camp in Nanyuki, and I could see very prominent people, even from Hollywood. You know, I had gone there for business, so I was not paying for for the accommodation. But I can tell you, the tab was 500,000 a night. So we need to open up that, and it is the same area that Agnes was talking about, caves. The area of Irangi Forest is where we have caves. We have a very nice waterfall, a beautiful place where we can even have planes landing there, because it's a big area that it's not covered by forest, but on this side it is surrounded by a very nice forest. And the Rupingazi River, or I don't know whether it's Rupingazi or Zampana River, is passing right in the middle. So it's a beautiful place. And those are things that we can look at, how we can ensure you guys, while you're bringing your money back home, you invest in these things. And I'm keen to hold your hand where need be on such issues. The issue of planting trees is an issue that even the government has given a directive. And I am one of those people who have taken the initiative seriously, because we have, together with the gentleman I've told you has been elected as the chairman of NEMA, we have our own engagement of planting trees in our schools. And we have also added trees in those places where we are building roads. We want to have a tree line that is going up and going down when we are building these roads. And that is something that now I have more powerful. I have been empowered by him being in that national level of leadership. I think I'll stop there on tourism, unless I need some guidance from you guys on one or two things.
Yes, I think we have we are also looking at time now. I know we've been here for quite some time.
Yes.
And would like to keep our questions brief, and also we don't want to leave before at least we introduce some other areas of importance we planned to discuss tonight, and especially on job opportunities and resource center. We've not touched that.
Yeah.
And we also need to hear a little bit about investment and entrepreneurship. I don't know if you can fuse those two together and
okay, I will do that.
And then we are going to receive the questions at the end. At least we need to hear from you first.
Okay, I think we'll base the part of job creation and entrepreneurship in two levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I will start with the status of Manyatta constituency. And it is obvious to everybody that there is a crisis when it comes to our young people. Actually, today, when I was around here, we were discussing with someone why here we don't have these political temperatures getting high, so high. It's because everybody is busy. But in Kenya, it's the reverse. Almost everybody is idle, especially our young people.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody was joking a few weeks back that these days graduations have become ceremonies to declare our young people officially jobless. So there's nothing to celebrate. It's just celebrating that you're officially jobless. And one of the things that I have taken as an initiative is to have a resource center for Manyatta constituency. And this resource center is a place where when you don't really have somewhere you can take your document, you have somewhere you can say, this is what I have done and I'm looking for this type of a job. And we are coupling that with a website where we can have an online engagement with these guys who are graduating. For the resource center, I already have an office that I have located in Kirimari town, and that office, I want to put close to 300 computers. I want to ensure that I also assimilate some of our young people that are looking for jobs and they have not already gotten somewhere. So I want them doing online jobs. I want them to do data entry. I want them to be doing, this social media marketing. So I'm planning a platform that can be able to ensure that we have a place where these young people can be, instead of going to the villages and maybe getting affected by all this manner of peer pressure of drugs and everything. And this is where you guys can come in. Maybe if you have maybe computers that you can donate for the job center, or we can be part and parcel of this, because it's something that I feel it will hold our young people. On the same issue, I think many of you will agree with me that I don't know whether you had my experience. Me and Victor, and I remember we were with Victor when we were trying to look for attachment in the University of Nairobi. And we went around the industrial area. We carrying our close to 30 CVs, but to my shock, not even one person called me for attachment. And I was very furious. I said, I will never look for a job. That is where we parted ways with Victor. Victor went to the US, me, I went to employ myself, because I was very furious that I was a bright student with good grades, but I was not able to get an attachment. And I felt very bad. Those are the cases we have with our young people today. And today we are also having kids who are not as strong at heart as me. So you might find even people committing suicide because somebody has done actuarial science and he got an A in high school, but here he is frustrated for lack of a job. So I want to maintain a database that Vicky and where she works, she can see somebody somewhere requires this type of an expertise, and I can, within a click of a button, I can send you 5 CVs to choose from. So that is the database I want to maintain. But that is not the only thing. Also, we need to realize that not everybody has gone to school. There are young people in our villages that don't have education. These young people, maybe they do manual jobs and they need some arrangement. Those ones I'm doing for them circles, so that whatever hassle, because no young person who doesn't have something they want to do. Someone want to go to the farm, others want to go to boda. I want to do circles for them, whereby you can be able to control them. And if you're able to get something, including from the county, I mean, I was challenging Madam Governor the other day that let's use these young people to clean up the town. Instead of having these mambonyenye with trucks, let's have our young people being given these jobs. And I know we are thinking the same line with even the president, because I had him increase the intake for NYS in the same line of ensuring we engage our young people. And if we do that, even these Azimio maandamanos, we will be having nobody to tell anything. So it is a problem that is so big, but it's a problem that we have to start solving immediately. We will not be able to solve it with a click of a button, but I am starting to solve it from my own level. And very soon, when you keep following me, you'll see me having meetings with the jobless people for registration purposes and ensuring that we have them in our database. The other thing that I was saying, and I think I started with it, is the fact that I know everybody wants to have engagement back home. And I said it's a shame that the government has not really looked at ways of protecting the diaspora people who invest in our country. I think we are really overthinking the issue of investment. Many people will invest somewhere they have some passion and somewhere they have some vested interest in. And we have had rounds with the president looking for investors to come and do our affordable housing. Affordable housing right now, we are doing even 5,000 units in Embu. Manyatta constituency, as a matter of fact, we are doing 5,000 units, and we have land that the county government has offered 5,000. Close to 20 acres of land at Majimbo, just next to just next to town, and that project, I feel if you guys can take advantage of it, me, I can plan, and we go to the president, we sign the papers, and we take over that project as our own. But those are things that we can discuss and ensure that they are done. And one of the guarantee we are having in the affordable housing is the fact that if the houses don't sell or they don't get rented, the government will buy back. That is something that I've seen many people appreciating. So you are guaranteed that your money is safe. Number two is the fact that while you're doing affordable housing, you're not only doing affordable housing, you're also doing part of the housing being the normal. It's called a mixed system housing system, where you don't have only poor people in one block. You mix the houses so that we don't have slums, upward slums cropping up. I feel that is a very nice investment agenda. And diaspora, I know how hard it is to look for money, especially here in America. You guys are, I even salute you guys, because I know for you to make $1 million and put it in your account, you have done your work close to 24 hours a day. And by that, it means that you need to be protected. I was quoting the issue of Saiton. Saiton came here and sold brilliant ideas to you guys, and the CEO is so charming that you believe he is a magician, and you go invest money and then somebody goes jokes with it. I feel the government should be able to have a channel of investment for diaspora. And now that we have a diaspora ministry, which because of this meeting, I will engage the minister directly so that I can be able to even tell him so among these things that we are talking about, I feel there should be a direct, sure bet way of ensuring that when you put your money in these projects, it doesn't get lost. Even if it's a private project, should be a private project in Kenya should be coming through government if it is diaspora money.
Yes.
And maybe you guys can help me with the formulation of policy on that level, so that I want, if Sam has made 20 million somewhere here and he wants to take it back home, he is not shaking when he is signing that RTGS. He is safe and he is smiling. Yeah? So that so that we don't have people losing money like that.
Yes.
I feel we have other opportunities on tourism. We have opportunities on issues to do with value addition. And I think I've mentioned when we do our aggregation, farmers produce, we need to think about how we can put back factories that help our people. And I've seen here things are very digital, by the way. I mean, if I went to Target and I'm looking at a package of everything that you require to cook your vegetables, and I thought that packaging there is just brilliant. These are things that you guys should be very vibrant to look at, so that we can be able to work together. The rest maybe is not something maybe on one-on-one basis. Maybe we can engage, but I feel we have engaged on these things in a way that we can build up on them. So I want to stop there.
Thank you so much. I don't know if we have left anything Mukesh wanted to say. I think we've handled policy, yes. So for the sake of time, we are going to open to say, like, we're gonna give a chance for the last round of questions for those people who might have something. But also I see there are some questions that came through while we are speaking. I see someone is asking, any plans to develop upgrading the airstrip in Embu? This could open up the tourism and economy at large. Someone else.
I think I can answer that directly.
Okay.
Actually, one of the roads I'm doing for Madaraka Day is the airstrip road. So that place is already open, and we already told the president that because the airstrip was taken over by the military, he is bringing it back to Embu now for the issues of doing direct flights for Mira, Macadamia, and Horticulture. So that is something already that we had already put across, and it is happening. That one I can confirm.
Thank you. Good.
Yes.
Somebody here says something else have seen our people put effort on is dairy farming, that is milk. Almost every homestead has a cow or two. If supported, it can improve their livelihood.
Yeah, so part of the crops that I want to produce that I want to register is also milk. Okay. But I had written letters to the ministry to assist me with the coolers. Because I don't want to tell people I've registered you and then they wait for another 3 months asking, Mheshimiwa is registered, then what happened? So I'm very keen to do things at the right time. But I agree with you. Milk is a big thing in Embu. It requires us not to be dependent on the direct sales to the Brookside people who they are monopoly. So they don't care what they give to farmers. We need to look at even value addition on milk.
Good.
Yeah.
Somebody here is talking about, once gazetted, we can have the tourism of bird watching. We also
bird
need,
watching.
Yes.
Yes.
We also need lots of infrastructure and marketing. Okay.
That one I didn't get it.
It's talking about once gazetted, I think it's the gazettement of Jokere.
Yes.
Once gazetted, we can have the tourism of bird watching as a tourism attraction.
Okay.
We also need lots of infrastructure and marketing. I think it's infrastructure and marketing of the destination.
Yeah. And you know, anybody who has used that Jokere road is also part of Madaraka Day, so it's going to be redone. So we are upgrading the infrastructure of that area in a very big way.
Good. Okay. Somebody else here is saying, I'm glad you mentioned that you will give us feedback. Please tell us where we can view what's happening in the constituency and Embu in general.
I think one of the things I'll tell you guys, follow me on Facebook and on Twitter. Yeah, and also on Instagram. I'm in those 3 platforms. But I know from here, maybe we can have a WhatsApp group where we can be putting a lot of engagement and reports of what we are doing. I want everybody to be following closely on what we are doing, and maybe you are part of our voices where you even say what we are doing as an example.
Yeah.
So from here, maybe my handle is around my names. If you Google Gitonga Mukunji or John Gitonga Mukunji, you will find all my social media platforms, and maybe you can follow them. And also I'll follow back.
Okay, good. And share that with the wider community.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Someone here asks, can we have a brief on health services in Embu, especially Embu Level 5 hospital and the supply of medicine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. On health, which is a devolved function in the county government, I have seen governor putting a lot of efforts so that we can have the level 5 hospital working. One thing I have told her, and I advise her because we were elected together, is that level 5 hospital cannot be the only hospital that is functioning in Embu and things become okay.
True.
So I advised her that she should have at least 1 or 2 level 4 hospitals in every constituency that is well equipped, that is void of cartels, and that is having a working human resource. So I know that is not something that can be done within a minute, but let's continue observing. All I can tell you is the governor is very, very passionate on ensuring that the health of the county works. That one I want to confirm.
Good. Somebody here is asking, what is the registration process of the affordable housing project? Are they pre-registered? Specifically, how are Embu residents registering to buy the houses on the government housing project?
Okay, I think that one I can answer. Number one is that there are 2 plans. Number one, there is a plan of a bill that is coming to the National Assembly. That bill is for what we call pension schemes. And I know you have heard the president speak about it, whereby we are looking at introducing some money that you can be contributing, and at the end you own a house. A mandatory, what we call a mandatory contribution, just like we have the NSSF of today. That one is at its own controversy, but everybody agrees that for saving, for pension scheme, you cannot be giving 200 shillings at this day and age and expect to get anything that can help you in retirement. So it is a high time we review it. The other option that we have is there is a registration that happens in the National Housing Corporation, NHC, that you can fill up your details, and there's a rotary, more like a rotary system of allocation of houses. The other one that I've had being mentioned is the one that is going to come down to the level of the local man, and that is the housing project that is near you or that is meant for a certain community. The same amount of money you are paying as rent, if it is 5,000, you get to pay the same amount of money, but then at the same time, you end up owning that house, because we are talking of affordable housing, which is as little as 1,300,000 Kenya shillings for a house of, I don't know, 1 or 2 bedroom, for a one bedroom house. So anybody can pay 5,000 and get a house in another 15 to 20 years. But all those things are in implementation stage, because we have just started the building. But I think it's a high time you guys take advantage. You jump in our language, we say Rogambere and Rema Kanatego. So you can decide to be ahead of everybody and uanze kujipanga, but I will be guiding you in every part, because I want you to feel safe when you're doing this. And I feel it is a very important thing that you guys take advantage of it. We have many projects, not only in Embu. We have projects in Nairobi. We have high rise. We have Starehe. We have houses in Mavoko. I'm in the committee of housing, so I've been part and parcel of the launch of all those projects. And I will tell you, they are going up like nobody's business. So it's something that you guys can think of.
Good. I think, let me see if I skipped a question here. There's an anonymous question here. I think somebody is asking, how will you ensure the investment? Oh my goodness, they're coming. Okay. How will you ensure the investments and projects by diaspora are protected? How will you hold the foodies accountable to doing a good job?
I think we have just discussed that. And I cannot guarantee personally if we continue with the same trend of how things are being done. But if we bring a policy, government policy, through the diaspora ministry, that allows you, when you're sending your money, you don't send it directly to somebody, but you send it through government for guarantee purposes. I feel that when money can be safe, because even relatives these days have become thugs. You send them something, you tell them, I want a mansionette, they build a toilet. And you get shocked when you get back home. So I feel government should step in, just like how it steps in to protect the most vulnerable. And I'm open to a policy document or a law that I can push in the National Assembly, and maybe we can work on that together. You know, you guys are the guys with the ideas. You know, I'm not a diaspora person. You are the diaspora people. So maybe we can work on a law that I can push through the National Assembly.
Yes.
And maybe we can call it diaspora investment law.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
That says that if you're sending money, there should be a guarantee from government that your money will not be misused. And I feel that can be a good thing. So we can work on that, and maybe among your conclusions, you can put that as a take home, that we should do a law that we can push through the National Assembly. I'm your mouthpiece in the National Assembly. Na mimi, one thing I don't do is I don't fear. I push my things to the limit.
Excellent.
Yeah. So maybe the anonymous person can also be part of that team. We can form a subcommittee.
With anonymous.
Yeah, with anonymous. Yes.
Okay, I think there's one last question here. How is Embu University engaged with the community to partner with regional international universities to build their programs, especially agriculture, making it a center of agricultural innovation, especially with our traditional foods, that is the superfoods?
Well, for Embu University, I am a very keen person with that university. And I have had several meetings with the VC. They have relationship with which university is this? I've forgotten the name of the university in the US where they have relations and they exchange. They have exchange program. But I have had a challenge with the VC because I told him we need to focus on agricultural research. But with the challenges, actually he answered me straight. He told me, these days you cannot specialize because the government does not give you money. So you have to have as many courses as possible so that you can have as many students as possible coming to do these courses, and you get money for development. But Professor Mogendi is my very good friend. So with the engagement alone, we agreed that we can have the research being pronounced more. For example, we can have competition on agricultural research. And I was telling them to lead the fight. You know, we have had a controversy issue in our country on GMO. And I don't know anybody's opinion here, but I was telling Professor Mogendi, why can't we have a symposium or a discussion around GMO led by Embu University?
Yes.
You know, so that they can start creating that climate of the fact that we are doing agricultural research and we are going to push for it. And well, it will take time. You know, as a new person, you don't come and you start being radical. So you go slowly. You tell people this is how I feel we should be working. But I feel there is a future in that kind of a setting of the university. And the president also told him exact same words when we went to see him with the president, that they have to focus on agricultural research so that they create a niche on that. But I'm open to any person with interest of that university. Maybe we can chat on the side and tell me maybe what we can do together. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. The other one is Best Link Developers. Oh, okay, Best Link, Mr. What was his name? He was here. Yes, James, we were discussing earlier. He has a company, Best Link Developers, so we'll definitely connect you with the diaspora, and so that we can partner in some of these land acquisition processes with the diaspora that is here with us. Okay, thank you.
We have one more question from Harun.
Yes. Harun, are you there?
Oh, yes, thank you. Asante mheshimiwa kwa kukua kwa hii forum and inviting us. Mimi nimetoka, my MP is Ruko, and I schooled in Kamama, so I pretty much have a lot of friends from Manyatta, huko Kanja, and I have, and one of them maybe unamjua Pastor Bishop Gwere. I don't know that you know that bishop. So anyways, I know you guys, you may not, you know, siwezi kuuliza swali direct from my constituency, but you as a MP, of course, you have your mandate, basically, like, you know, to legislature, which is making law, you know, being the watchdogs there, or rather watching the government and representing your people. Pretty much, I would like to ask, I know you can make laws that will help the whole country, like you see Muhammad Ali is coming up with a law about the LGBT cap, and it does not just represent the Nyali people with such a kind of a bill or law. So my question would come to you, like, have you or do you have any bill that you probably have represented or you planning to now or in the future that you help not only your constituency in Runyenjes, but
in
the
Manyatta.
whole Kenya, in Manyatta, or the whole country, of course. And on that one, that would be my first question. The other one is about the Mira menace. And we farm Mira on our side, Bere North, Bere South, pretty much. And we have seen all that many. First of all, the impact of Mira economically, I mean, our people get money out of it, but at the wrong land. If you look at it, the impact of Mira to our youth, that is where the rubber meets the road. And we may be happy today, but we pretty much doesn't have a generation of tomorrow. Now on that side of Mira, how is Mira being transported? That's another menace. Oh my goodness! I know you have seen, and people can agree here. It is chaos in our roads, and unapata the Mira vehicles are actually driving on the wrong side. You have to give them the way, even if you have the right of the way, but you don't have a right. They do have the right. And I have heard wanachomwa huko Mwea, they slow down there, but they behave whatever they want. Can't we have a law? Is there ni kama serikali imeshindwa na wao? The police cannot control that people, and come on, people have families. People, I don't agree with such a kind of lawlessness on our roads. And again, hii miraa inakimbizwa, unaweza fikiria ni dawa inapelekwa, na wenye wanaikula kwa utaratibu pole pole. I wonder why does it have to be rushed? If it was to be on rush, ingekuwa imepelekwa mapema ama jana itumike leo, or rather the flight kama iko na hiyo pesa yote, instead of causing all the chaos on our road. And it has fallen on the deaf ears not on this government, the other government, and the other government. I'll not take much time. That would be, of that. Another thing, maybe, I don't know whether it was a disclaimer. I am not a UDA person. So when you say mambo ya madamano, most of us, maybe I'm not the only one. Tunaenda madamano sababu ya kupiga sufuria, because we talked about the hustler. That's what your guy campaigned for. Now there is no talk of a hustler anymore. We are all suffering when alipiga kura kwa UDA kwa Azimio. So I'll probably not tell you to go demonstrate, but isionekane is an evil thing to do when people are asking for the basic need. And you also say the president has that talk of not engaging the big companies to do the city cleaning. You're going to give it to our youth. That's the contrary to what the president did. Because
I spoke of the governor, sorry, not the president.
Oh, the governor, yeah. But you mentioned, I think, president. Or maybe I was wrong.
I spoke to the president on the NYS issue.
NYS. I mean, yeah, that's good. But also, if you kill the kazi kwa vijana first, when you come in the how then you creating job by killing the jobs? Maybe I'll leave it at that. I don't want to be too much, but I'm a Azimio person, and that country is 50-50. So whenever, probably in a forum like this, you gotta be neutral,
But no, I'm an MP for everybody.
Exactly. Thank you.
And as long as our politics do not define how far we are going to go in terms of who is supporting what, I think we are in the same page. But can I answer you now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I think let me start with your issue of laws that I'm thinking of, or the ones I'm drafting. Number one, most of the things that I think about myself as a new member of parliament, I have to anchor everything, even if it is affecting the whole country, to my Manyatta constituency. And I do that without any shame, because I feel before even you are known nationally, you have to have created your own people in a way that they can see you meant good for them. And I have a law. Number one, I'm co-sponsoring with the Senator Kirinyaga on macadamia, and that is the one that we have spoken about at a length. Of course, macadamia is not only in Embu; it's in other places. Moranga, they are big in macadamia, so I have a macadamia bill that is coming up. Basically, what we are looking at ensuring that there is a fund. There is a control, macadamia controls, just like we have the coffee board, so that which is, it has become a very huge cash crop in Kenya today. If you go through the research, you'll see what it brought in last year in terms of income in this country. So it requires that nini. I am also part of the team that is doing our coffee bill. And I know if you follow me, you have seen me speak a lot on the same. We are introducing the bill in the National Assembly, and we are doing that to ensure we every part of Kenya feels the impact and the coffee prices go up. Now, from here, I think we have spoken about the diaspora investment bill, which I've taken up already in my head, and I know I am going to champion that. So those and bills come daily. I have close to 10 bills in my list of even motions. I have a motion on issues to do with irrigation, because I feel as a country, we cannot allow, we have lakes, we have rivers, we have ocean, and we are crying of not being able to feed ourselves. So I am bringing in the issue of relooking at our irrigation, our water act of 2016, whereby we want to ensure we don't disturb the rivers a lot until they get to where they're supposed to go. because somebody quoted Rupingazi River, and I will tell you what is ailing Rupingazi River. A pipe has been taken from a place called Ndunda, a huge pipe, size of a V8 in terms of diameter, and it is taking water to Kirinyaga. So basically, we are removing the ecosystem downstream, and we are killing it and channeling all the water towards irrigation in various places. So one thing that we want to do is ensure, let the water flow as far as it can flow. Then let us get the water from Indian Ocean, pump it to Kambani for farming, pump it to Tana River. Let's get water from Naivasha Lake, pump it to all that area of Kiambu and Nakuru and Upande Mount Kenya, because the water, I mean, I don't know who told Kenyans that when water gets to the ocean and lakes should not be touched. I think God knew what he was doing when he was giving out us all these resources. We have Egypt that is actually beating us hands down in terms of food security. We import our oranges and a lot of things that we eat from Egypt, but they only have one river, and they have been able to maximize on that and be able to feed their whole population. So I am bringing that act to Parliament again for the sake of everybody in this country. Now, let me open this. The other issue is the Mira issue. Also requires regulation. I think your good friend Roko had a bill on the same, but I don't know how far he has gone with it. I think I'll follow up with him to see how far he is on the same. Well, what happens is wherever money is, Kenyan follow. That one I will tell you for a fact, Arun. Pesa ikisikika mahali wa Kenya wanaanguka hapo. And I'll give you an example of somebody a few years ago came with an issue of quail farming. Quail farming. And he lied to Kenyans. Almost everybody put money in quail. So I feel it is where we advise our people to take where the money is where the Kenyan will take money. And I think, to echo a few words mentioned by somebody, that sorghum farming, millet farming, and cassava farming can be a substitute to Mira farming. But it requires, like what I'm doing in my constituency, bringing farmers together so that you can be able to channel them to the right places. And I think you can also share the same idea with my colleague Roko to do the same, so that you can be able to channel farmers to the right kind of farming. I mean, you cannot say no to these people. They are making money. They are making millions. Me, I know them individually, but these guys are making good money. You tell them to stop, you'll be in bad. I don't know, man. But it is true that even on the road, it's very dangerous. But in a way, they are able to do those things. I propose the idea of opening the airstrip, so that shipping of, I mean, the airlifting of Mira, instead of these guys rushing all the way to JKIA to drop Mira, they can drop it at the airstrip at Mugatari. So that is an idea that I dropped to the president. He bought it, and he is opening that airstrip.
Good.
Now, I will not say much about issue of politics. This is not a political forum. As I've said, I'm a member of parliament of everybody. I am a UDA member myself. We are just 6 months inside this government. I don't believe if we start messing up the issue with Maandamano, we will achieve much. I believe even Raila himself knows what he is doing, and let us not be let us think above him and see what is his agenda. That question is very important. When a government is just 6 months in power and you want to introduce the issue of maandamano and bringing vijana outside so that they can cause all manner of chaos, I don't believe you mean well for this country. And it cannot be right in any way or purpose. Even we have not even read the budget. The budget we are using right now was read last year in June. We have not read our first budget. So we cannot be able to have achieved a lot. So while we agree it is the right for everybody to do maandamano, it is obvious that the agenda of this maandamano that we are talking about right now is an agenda to ensure the government does not achieve. And I know, Harun, you need your people in Mbeere North at least getting water. So it's not about, yes, we have not gotten water yet because we have not had the budget. So let's get the budget, give us 2 years. If there's nothing, ingieni go streets. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you for, I mean, you know, it's not a politics of forum like you said, and I'm happy to see you because you're a young guy and, you know, that's the future right there. So thank you so much. Maybe the last one, if you let me, Mr. Moderator, this is not even a question, is that just a quick comment. I saw on another day, the newspaper, the front page was about the very rich minerals that we do have. And I was so happy to see them in Mbeere, in Embu. I'm like, wow. Yeah, you guys as the leaders from Mbeere and Embu, do you have because we are poor. Let's agree that our, you know, our county is poor. But now we are sitting on some very good mineral stuff, and we kumbuka pia tuko na the power generating is in the Mbeere if you look at it. I don't know that you guys come together and such a information come. How do you take it? And I mean, that can bring us a lot of wealth right there.
So let me say this about the minerals I saw on the paper. I read that paper when I was already here. And I was very keen to see we have iron. I saw we have graphite in some hills in Mbeere North, Kiritiri and everywhere. Yeah, so one thing I want to do is immediately I go back to Kenya, we are going to have that conversation with leaders. We are going to have that conversation, and we are going to actually, I am personally going to visit the minister, because whenever minerals are mentioned, we think of jackpot. I have seen how Tanzania has done with it, with these Tanzanites. They have created billionaires, and communities are actually getting good returns on this. So I can tell you for a fact, Aaron, that is not something that I'm going to lie behind and say it was read on papers. We are going to stick together for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's do the last 2 questions, and then actually the last one is a very direct question. Somebody is asking, where is the airstrip in Embu? What is the name of that place?
Mulatari.
Okay. The last one, somebody is talking about the voice of the patients. This is Honorable. I know you talked about health, but I'm also concerned about patient rights on these hospitals.
Okay.
I have engaged with people back home, but they are generally scared to ask questions. Just an input, as you all try to remodel level 5 and level 4, we may need a voice for the patients.
Wow, that's thank you very much for that. I hope, Victor, you are taking notes for me, because that is very important. You are my secretary on this.
Yes, I am.
So, I forgot to say something about health that is part of my bills. We are redoing the bill on NHIF, and one thing that has been a problem NHIF is the fact that it only works on level 4 and level 5 hospitals and going up to level 6. So we now want to bring in that even dispensaries in our villages, and that is my own initiative, we are bringing in the issue of NHIF should be able to pay for small medicine and pay for a few checkup here and there at the public, and this one I'm very blatant, not in private hospitals. They are stealing a lot of money from NHIF. For public dispensaries, somebody should be able to buy medicine at a dispensary through NHIF. That one is something that I'm pushing also in the National Assembly, and it will help a lot. I agree with whoever said that. I mean, when issue of health is there, even in our public hospitals, nobody is able to answer. So I think it's something that I cannot speak a lot right now in terms of because it's a devolved function. But I have handled several issues that touch on these things that we are talking about, where somebody is there, nobody is answering him, nobody is bothering. Maybe he's told a certain machine is dead, and he has nothing that he can do about it. So let's hope my governor, and we pray for her so that she gets all the power that is required to ensure that we at least achieve something on health. But I'll be there to support her in every step of the way.
Thank you so much. I think we have come to the end of our discussion tonight. I don't see any more questions, and we are right on time. We wanted to finish 10 minutes earlier, so we are about 10-12 minutes late. So I think we are not bad on time, but we are very, very, very thankful, Mheshimiwa, because you have discussed at length so many things that we wanted to hear from you. And we are very, very happy to engage with you. And as I said at the beginning, this is just the beginning of the process. There are so many things we are going to be engaging you on. We are going to create social media groups where you're part. We are going to include you there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that you can be answering questions directly to us. Unless you'd like me to give you this chance, Mheshimiwa, if you wanted to say something that is in your mind.
Okay. I think I've loved this discussion. And I normally say it's good to have discussions.
Yes.
But you don't just have discussions and go. You have to say what is the take home.
Absolutely.
And for me, my take home is we shall engage. And number two is as I am your guy on the other side, you be also our guy on this side.
Yes.
So by that I mean where you can come in. And let me say that there is nobody who doesn't owe the community they come from something.
Yes.
You might even hate where you come from, but you owe them something because that is your heritage. So I request you, with the programs that we have analyzed there, the issue of the feeding program, the issue of a resource center, the issue of our farmers, see how you can assist, and let me know personally, or let the moderators know, so that we can engage and continue engage. And I'll tell you something, that my success story will be all of you success story, because I don't believe there is any leader, and I think Aaron has done very well to mention our issues in the county at the end. Anybody who is not happy when the country is achieving does not deserve to be a leader. And I also, in the same breath, say that it is everybody's responsibility to ensure our constituency and our county is successful. It is everybody's responsibility. Whatever small you can do, even if it's a phone call and tell me, Mheshimiwa, I feel this thing can help somebody, or even an advice, it is big enough to ensure that we achieve what we can achieve. And I feel from here we need to form a group, and also maybe we can say in another maybe another 3 months we can have seen what has transpired and have a conversation on the same, so that we can assist each other. So I will say thank you very much to everybody. Myself, tomorrow I'll be off from Las Vegas. I've enjoyed my stay here, but I've realized you guys are too busy. You cannot meet a friend for coffee and tea. Everybody is busy doing something. Karova.
Next time you come, Muhesh, let us know. We're gonna make sure you meet people physically.
Yes. So I think the discipline you guys get when you come to the US, it's amazing. You know that in our country we are used to moshene. You know, you pass by somebody's house, you kula moshene for 2 hours. Here it is focus from evening to morning. So it's a good thing, and I am hoping we'll see each other very soon. I know I'll be popping up in and out in the US because I've been given a visa for 5 years. So I don't have a lot of problems to visit.
Good.
And I want to say thank you to Victor and Vicky and Sam for this good organization, and everybody who has gotten some time to share with us. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
You're very, very, very welcome, Mheshimiwa, and thank you again for your time and very eloquent presentation. That was the clearest it can get. So thank you so much. And as I said, I believe all these things we have discussed will definitely be a success. And also to thank those people who have been here. I know some of you have been here quite far from the beginning. And I know it's not easy sitting and waiting, and some of you maybe have not been able to speak much, but I know you are following, and we are going to be raising questions going forward. We are going to keep these conversations going, and I can assure you with Muhesh leadership, there is engagement and there is success is assured at the end. So thank you so much, and I'll give this chance to my co-moderator if she has something to say before we close.
Can I say something before? Can I say something before Vicky steps in?
Introduce yourself first, please.
My name is Risa Mgeni. I just want to thank your Mheshimiwa. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, when Vicky told me about this, I was very skeptical, but I'm just letting you know. Not skeptical in first of all, UDA. I am not UDA.
Okay.
But the fact that we are talking about Embu, and I see you have a very vested interest, you are very invested now. Even with the governor, the way you have talked means that you are very invested in the betterment of Embu County, which is, first of course, your area, which is Manyatta, but as a whole, that will translate to the whole of Embu County. And I'm letting you know what, whatever you need, I will give.
Wow, thank you very much.
Yeah, because if that's if there's going to be results, but the part that I am more so vested in is the education part of it. So anything to do with education, I'm in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I will have your contact as we share our contacts.
Yes.
And maybe for the sake of communication, my number can be shared. Victor, maybe you can share my number to the the wall for everybody to pick and maybe save it.
Yeah, I can just text. I mean, it can be shared either here or through the group that we can sum up putting together.
The group would be the best the mode. So if anyone would like to join the group that way, you can just reach out. You can be added. Your number will be on there, Honorable. Thank you. And then we can move forward and even subdivide based on initiative. So I think that might be the best next step. Thank you everyone so much for taking the time, and we loved hearing from you, Mheshimiwa, and we look forward to action in the future. So yeah, that's all from me. And Sam, you're welcome to close us out, or Victor.
Yeah. Oh, Victor, maybe you might want to say something. You, the one who introduced me.
He opened the call. He can close it.
Yes.
Well. So I think I'll very few words. I think I'm very, very impressed by this is like been 4 hours. Getting time from a member of parliament for 4 hours is not easy. I mean, we all know how that goes. It's not really easy. And I think this speaks a lot to your commitment, the kind of passion that you have in serving your people. I mean, I'm your friend. I know you for a very long time. I can vouch for you. But these kind of actions, they speak to who you are and the kind of vision that you have for the people. And then also there is the resilience of the audience. The audience has been here for the whole time.
Yes.
That is also a sign of commitment to the issues going back home. So that's really very, very encouraging. So thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks, Honorable Mukunji. This is beautiful. And I'm not from Embu, Manyatta, but you guys, you have to support your leader. Here you have a young leader who has a long way to go. And you collaborate, you critique when it's necessary, and that is the way to go. I'm encouraged when I hear there's some sort of divergent opinions. That is how we build a society. We don't have to all agree on everything. Absolutely. So thanks everybody. Thank you so much, Sam, Vicky. Thanks to the audience, and let's keep this going. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. Bye.